the financial education of American families. Only 29% of people report taking a personal finance class in high school. Our next guest has led efforts to greater access to such programs. Let's bring in Senate Banking Committee Chairman and co-chair of the Financial Literacy Caucus, Senator Tim Scott. Senator, welcome.
Thank you, Jerry. Thanks for having me on the show.
Great to have you. Well, Senator, you've backed several pieces of legislation to help Americans learn financial literacy and get access to the tools they need to become financially successful. Road to Housing is one of those. And I noticed it's not a big federal giveaway, unlike some previous government efforts at fixing the housing crisis. What are the appropriate tools to help Americans?
Well, Jerry, the why for me is just as important as the what. As a kid who grew up in poverty, surrounded by chaos, I was so thankful to meet a mentor who taught me the importance of financial education and financial literacy. That's why I've focused so much of my time in the Senate on financial literacy. If you think about the tools that we need, we find some of those tools in the big, beautiful bill. Here's a piece of legislation, President Trump's signature legislation, that actually allows for more Americans to keep even more of their money. It focuses on financial literacy. Whether you think about the child tax credit or tax cuts for single mothers by 70%, he has codified opportunity in the big, beautiful bill. If you think about my legislation in the Banking Committee, we're talking about the road to housing, making home ownership more affordable by cutting away at the red tape.
I find this really interesting that you're so involved in this, and I think you should tell our viewers a little bit about why is it so important? Why do you especially want low-income Americans, Americans who might be struggling with financial numbers, with understanding how they work? Why is it so important to help them?
You know, the national media does a really good job of selling poor kids that the only way out of poverty, frankly, is athletics or entertainment. I met a small business owner, John Moniz, a Chick-fil-A operator, who taught me that small business ownership is the best path out of poverty. And it worked for me, and it's working for millions of Americans. We should speak the truth in love to the American people and not sell the lie of the far radical left on there's no way out of poverty unless you're an entertainer, an athlete, or frankly, you're going to be stuck in a caste system. America is the land of opportunity.
I love that. I mean, you're kind of giving me chills there. I want you to speak to some of the data that we found. It shows Americans have a long way to go to understand not just their own money, but America's money. The budget deficit, the overspending by the federal government. What's at stake for our country if Americans are financially illiterate?
Well, we can look back at the Biden years to see government spending exploded. That is a bad recipe for our long-term success and, frankly, a terrible recipe for reducing national debt. Look at President Trump's approach. He trusts the American people, which means more money in their pockets so that the American people make their decisions. That is leading to more and more of one thing: low inflation, high opportunities. They're one essential component. If we do more of that, give President Trump the reins, we'll find our inflation low, which means our interest rates will follow. This is a recipe for success.
Well, it's critical for particularly small business operators to have those low rates. There is, of course, Senator, renewed concern that American students, well, they're not even learning the value of capitalism in schools. New York City Socialist Mayor candidate Zohran Mamdani, who is pushing for higher taxes, government-run grocery stores, has been praising the major support he's seeing from young voters. Why do we see these young voters support socialism, even communism? And does it matter that they've seen examples set by the federal government itself in the Great Recession, when many families lost jobs and income, creating stresses on those families? How do we fix that?
Well, the one thing we don't do is have the city of New York own all the grocery stores. That's called the modern day bread line. It's a bad recipe. And the last thing most homeowners want is HUD. I love Scott Turner, but I don't want HUD running housing for every single American. We want exactly the opposite. Competition means lower prices and higher quality. The government running it means higher prices and lower quality. The contrast cannot be simple, but we as conservatives have a responsibility to sell the American people on our approach of free markets and capitalism. National media and Democrats are selling socialism as a recipe.
Well, you know, back to something you touched on, the national debt is at record levels, surpassing $36.5 trillion. Anybody following Congress is an inspiration for how to spend your money would be bankrupt by now. So what will it take for Congress to, you know, drink their own Kool-Aid and start dealing with the debt?
Well, one of the things that's missed in the big, beautiful bill is that $1.6 trillion of spending cuts over the next 10 years. And according to the CBO, the big, beautiful bill actually reduces our debt by about $400 billion. This is a great formula for success. Trust the American people, grow our economy, and spend less money in Washington. I will say Washington has a spending problem. They do not have a revenue problem. They have a spending problem. Less money coming in means more success everywhere in America except for Washington, D.C., and that's really good news.
Well, that spending problem, it's more than just the government, of course. It's a lot of Americans,
it's an addiction.
too.
Yes.
Senator Scott, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate your time.